Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Cabral Concept. We are here today with our Friday review, bringing you the absolute best of the week, going over the latest updates from the practice. Big announcement today. Hopefully, you've seen it over the past week, that you are a part of the email list as well, that you're following along on Instagram, where all of those updates happen the same exact day. So we'll bring you that. We'll go over what's going on over at Equal Life in the global health community over there. We'll talk about a product review sitting right here, a bunch of things to show you. A book review that I got as I would say by chance. It was not at all what I expected, but excellent in its own right. So that was a nice little surprise. I'll share that with you. And then 3 results for children and adults, both of them, or all 3, I should say, are applicable. So excited to start today's show. Excited to end the week right with basically bringing you hopefully some things to get excited for, to be able to use in your life over the weekend, whatever it might be. So let's get right into it. First things first is hopefully you did see, and I want to make sure that we're recording here in video as well. If you haven't checked out the videos, well, then you can go to YouTube and you can just type in my name, Stephen Cabral. You'll be able to see all of the YouTube videos as well. And then, of course, today's episode 1736. So if you go to stephencabral.com/1736, you'll also see the video on today's show notes page as well. If you want to watch along a video, you're welcome to, since you'll get to see all the products at the same time. All right, well, big things, though, happening over at stephencabral.com. By January 1st of this coming year of 2021, you will see a brand new website, a brand new web experience. We're going to continue to update it over the first quarter, just like Equal Life got its own little makeover. Same with stephencabral.com. The goal of stephencabral.com will be able to help you, help your family members, loved ones, learn from an educational-based standpoint. So it's going to be the free podcast, the free daily video. It is going to be, there'll be eventually links to all the different individual podcast topics. So you might not know this, but if you go to stephencabral.com/podcasts, there's about a dozen different topics that actually have sorted now, whether you want to learn about Ayurveda, just your thyroid, just sleep, just fasting, just the virus. Like, you can actually go and actually see individual topics, maybe like 20 to 50 shows just on those individual topics. If you kind of want to take a deep dive just on those, gut healing, etc. So what we're trying to do is make learning easier. So we have the free podcast, the free videos, we have the rain barrel effect. So hopefully you've read that as well. If you haven't, that should be one of your first steps. There's no doubt about it, because then it lays the foundation. It lays the groundwork. In 400 pages, it can tell you exactly, essentially, the top 10 issues of why people are overweight, they've gotten sick, why they're aging faster. And then the second half of the book tells you exactly what to do about it. I literally give you my practice of what I've been doing now for many, many years. So there's that. But I wanted to take things to the next level for people that wanted to go deeper. Of course, there's IHP. I mean, if you want to become an integrative health practitioner, a certified health coach anywhere in the world, you can join thousands of your community members by signing up at integrativehealthpractitioner.org. We open approximately 8 times per year, and we allow 100 students in for each enrollment. So you can go over there, you can put your name on the wait list, you can download the brochure, you can talk with one of the graduates, like whatever works best for you. And we will be opening IHP, actually, now that I'm even talking about it. I didn't actually intend to even chat about this. When are we opening IHP? Well, let's see. This podcast is debuting on November 11th, and we are opening up IHP on, it happens November 16th. So next Monday, believe it or not, we will be opening up. And if you are on the wait list, you actually get a 24-hour head start notice, and that would be on Sunday. So definitely check that out. Even if now is not the right time for you, check out what it's all about at integrativehealthpractitioner.org. Integrativehealthpractitioner.org. We call ourselves IHPs for short. Now, and that will really take you through exactly how I teach and how I practice and how I help people. But what I've decided to do, since so many people have asked, and that's how the certification was created, how do I fix X, Y, and Z, A, Y, and Z? How do I fix those things? And again, like, all kidding aside, people are dealing with real health issues with autoimmunity, with thyroid issues, with lower testosterone, with childhood health immunity issues, with pregnancy, with, again, fertility with that, cardiovascular, blood pressure, blood sugar, brain health, you name it. And so what I decided to do was this, because more and more of my time is dedicated to teaching and overseeing a very large team now. So I am not doing as many one-on-ones. And for quite some time, my personal private practice really has been completely booked up. But I oversee the entire Equal Life team. And so that's why, again, there's amazing health coaches over there. We go through difficult cases, et cetera. But what I want to do is teach people at a deeper level. So even if you run your labs and you want to say, well, but how do I really fix, for example, this thyroid issue? Well, I'm going deep on each specific health issue. And I'm calling them my health results accelerators. And here's why. I believe that in half a day, I can teach you how to heal your thyroid, or how to heal female hormone imbalances, which is coming up next, or how to heal your normalized blood pressure issues, or healthy blood sugar, or those types of things. Now, it does not mean that you fix it in a day. But what it is I can give you all the information you need, I believe, and I know that I can, in about 4 hours. So I'm taking people on a deep dive who really want to know the underlying root and cause imbalances of how they got here, the answers, like literally the answers of what they're missing, and then how to implement a protocol, level 1, level 2, and level 3. Because I know not everybody will be ready to go, oh, let's go all in. I give you a starting point, an intermediate point, and then an advanced point. So you can join whatever works best for you. And this is more of what my team is calling more of legacy is a weird word, but a legacy project. And I guess I mean that from the standpoint that when I've created this, then I've said my piece about what I need to say about how to heal your thyroid. It's all there. I mean, literally, it's 4+ hours, and it's going to be a year access. Like, you're going to get 365 days. Take your time if you want, or learn it all in a day. And it's all video. It is me teaching you step by step by step. Literally 400 slides. I take you through it. You get to download the slides. You get to download the handouts. There are success checklists with every single one of the different lesson plans as well. So I'm telling you right now, I wanted to be what would I want to know if I was dealing with this? And so you can take it as deep as you want, or just take it at surface level, whatever works for you. But I'm telling you, it is there. I could go on and on about this. Really, really excited about them. They're a ton of work. I can't even begin to tell you. 10 times minimum the amount of work that I thought they'd be. But I feel they're absolutely worth it. So check it out right now during the debut. Head over to stevencabral.com/courses. And that is where you will see my health results accelerators. Essentially learn how to heal from your health condition in half a day. That's it. I'm telling you right now, you will be able to figure it out in that 4 hours, and you'll know all of the different missing pieces. So check it out right now at stevencabral.com/courses. And in the future, you will see about 12 to 16 different topics. The first one's going to be thyroid rebalancing, and then the next one coming out in a couple weeks will be female hormone rebalancing. And then we'll just keep going from there. All right. The community offer this week going on for podcast listeners and those community members over at Equal Life is $100 off the stress, sleep, and hormones test. You'll hear it at the outro of this podcast, so I won't go too in depth. But basically, you can learn all about your estrogen levels, progesterone levels, DHEA levels, testosterone levels, cortisol upon waking, cortisol at lunch, cortisol at dinner, and cortisol before bed. So you can figure out where your stress levels are, your hormonal imbalances may be, as well as your levels of stress throughout the day. It's an absolutely amazing lab. Plus, included with that price comes a 30-minute consultation with one of our amazing integrative health practitioners on the Equal Life team. And they'll take you through what your numbers mean, and they'll also help you develop a plan for you. So check that out at stevencabral.com /1736, or you can go right to Equal Life right now, EQUI.LIFE, for all the details. All right. Next up is our product review of the week. And you know that I've been a huge advocate of what's called self myofascial release. I've been doing self-myofascial release now since I was taught back in the late 90s, believe it or not, from the National Academy of Sports Medicine. I can remember him to this day. His name is Lenny. I can't remember his last name, but Lenny came and did a 3-day seminar at basically one of my first jobs. And we went in depth on all sorts of proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation, which you don't need to know anything about, but also basically how to give yourself a massage and all the great benefits from circulatory to relaxing the nervous system, removing those muscle knots or adhesions, whatever you like to call them. And I've given you many foam rollers before in the past that I've recommended. So the typical one is just the black foam roller, really nice, made of like a dense styrofoam, I believe, or dense foam. And you can find all these at stephencabral.com/resources. Hopefully you've been checking out that page. We've made it even easier to search now by just clicking on the exercise little link. It will take you right down to the exercise products I recommend. Not too many, just the essentials. And you can see that foam roller right there. That's an amazing one. I use that the most, but I got this brand new kit. I just purchased it right off Amazon. And basically, if you're watching this on video, and I'll explain it if you're not, it is a foam roller, just about a foot long or so, and it has all different dimples on it. And the different dimples act as basically trigger release points. So they dig deeper into your muscles. Now, if your muscles are already sore and tight from using the regular foam roller, don't move on to this quite yet. But this is a more advanced one, and it's going to get deeper. I roll a lot under my my lats, basically under my armpits. I roll there, especially with doing shoulder work and pull-ups. It can get tight. I use this for my IT band, and I use this for my glutes. These are really great. This foam roller is really, really nice for that. But the set also comes with a roller that looks like a rolling pin, and you can actually roll any part of your body. This is a great thing to do for your quadriceps. So you can roll your calves behind your knees, behind your shins or your calves, and you can roll your quadriceps, the top of your thighs, really nicely, as well as your IT bands with this. Believe it or not, it's more effective than probably it looks with all these little dimples and acupressure points on it. You can really get into those muscles, and it's fantastic for helping you recover after a workout, but also kind of waking the body up and bringing blood flow to the body. So this is a nice little, I just call it the rolling pin, the muscle rolling pin. It comes with a little spiky ball. This is hard as a rock. Believe it or not, this is not a soft, spiky ball. This is amazing to put under your foot at your desk and roll your feet out. It's fantastic. And I'm just dropping it all over the place. But you can use that ball to really relax your feet. It's a different type of form of kind of a foot reflexology. Absolutely fantastic. That's a great part of the set. It also comes with a peanut, which is basically two molded balls here connected in the middle, and you roll up and down your middle back. I've talked about that peanut before. You put that against the wall or on the floor. I've linked up videos to it in the past, so I'll see if we can link up a video to that too. I mean, it's unbelievable for opening up a tight mid-back thoracic part of the back. Fantastic. That is at home, so I can't show you that today. And the last piece is this strap. This is a stretching strap. Basically, the best stretch to do with this, there are many stretches, but the best stretch to do with this strap is you put your foot in one end while lying on your back. You hold this with the other, and you very gently and slowly lift your leg up until you feel a little stretch behind your hamstrings, a little bit in your calves as well. Stop if you feel any pain towards the lower back. Incredible for stretching out the hamstrings. It's a stretch that I recommend almost everyone do. So it comes with that stretching strap too. So it's pretty fantastic. I mean, it's a whole package that inside of this foam roller, the foam roller actually opens up, and you can put all of your different tools right in there, so it stores away really easily. So yes, I now have multiple foam rollers, but of course, these are all things that I use and I love, and they're for my health, so I can easily justify it. This whole thing is probably somewhere around $29 to maybe $39. I'll link it up for you. And again, you can find that at the link at stephencabral.com/1736, or my most updated resources are at stephencabral.com/resources. Okay, we've done our product review of the week, and now I'm going to share with you that book that I never expected it to be like this, but the name of it is this: I've decided to live to 120 years. So obviously a catchy title. A lot of my future work, but my current passion, it's been my passion for a long time, is studying longevity. Like not I don't want to go on a rant right here. I went on a rant the other day inside of our IHP group, but it's not longevity with like, oh, this one pharmaceutical drug is going to help us to live to 120, 150 years old. That's not going to happen, right? It's you have to learn, you have to get this at a deep foundational level. So anyway, I read this book because I knew it was based in traditional Chinese medicine. The author's name is Ilchi Li, and it's called I've Decided to Live to 120 Years, The Ancient Secret to Longevity, Vitality, and Life Transformation. So I expected there to be like, almost like the de-stress protocol I wrote about in the rain barrel effect, but for longevity. And we were going to talk about sirtuins and AMPK, and we were going to talk about lowering mTOR, like just all sorts of different things like that. No, not even close, not even close, but as valuable. And it's the things that we don't like to take the time to read about. So who do I recommend this book for? I would say people more in their later 40s, definitely 50s and 60s, because it starts to talk about the second half of life. And actually how looking at it differently than how you may have thought of. It is not waiting for our ultimate demise. It's actually beginning to love life again. And it's a beautiful book more on mindset and more of like the Taoistic based mindset than it is about specific supplements or foods or anything like that. It is about learning to use your mind to live longer. And it's a great book. I mean, it really was. It was very different. I don't read a lot of books like this, to be honest with you, anymore. But I'm just going to give you a couple. Okay. Reflect on the first half of your life and design the second. That's chapter 4. Chapter 5, physical power is life. Just move. Talks about moving your body. Nothing difficult, okay? Discover the new source of happiness. The next chapter is let go of attachments to find peace. Don't fear solitude. Enjoy it. Give your brain hopes and dreams, like we talk about on our Mindset and Motivation Monday, like last Mondays. Cultivate yourself continuously. Share and give. Be close to nature. And then also, last chapter is what we leave behind. So it's a beautiful book. I mean, it really is. It's written by someone that's obviously studied Taoism and traditional Chinese medicine. So it's quite nice. Again, if you feel like this is the right book for you, I'll link it up today at stephencabral.com/1736. Now, let's move on to our weekly research studies, only the things that I believe will benefit you and your loved ones. First things first, we've got one to just kind of like ease into things. I know a lot of people out there, they don't like talking about flatulence or in their gas or anything like that. But you know who does love talking about it typically? Our kids. My daughters still think it's the most hilarious things in the world if they pass gas or our dog Moose passes gas or anything like that. So here's the thing though. This is actually, all kidding aside, this is very important for whether it's a child or adult, that they have found, and I'll, this is actually from Dr. Jacob Teitelbaum. I've read Dr. Jacob Teitelbaum's, now this is like a blast from the past looking at this, because I read his books and all of that a million years ago. We're talking like 15, 20 years ago. I mean, it was at least 15 years ago. And anyway, he does a lot with GI stuff as well. So what he's correlated, and I completely agree, and that's why I wanted to bring this to you, that those people with more of an rotten egg smelling gas, rotten egg smelling flatulence, have it's more likely that they have small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Now, the only way that you really know that is if you were to run the bacteria and parasite stool test over at Equilife or the Candida metabolic and vitamins test. If you want to know if there's bacterial overgrowth, you should really run the stool test. And then if you want to know if you have Candida or other forms of bacteria like C. diff, then you can run that urine test, which is the Candida metabolic and vitamins test. So here's the thing. Smelly gas, like sulfur-based smelly gas, is often sign of a bacterial overgrowth, all right? So it's important to look at that. You either complete the CBO protocol or you run that lab test, okay? Now, if you have a lot of gas, but it's not really smelly, it could be indicative of Candida overgrowth. And that's when you run the Candida metabolic and vitamins test. Ideally, you run both of those labs plus the IgG food sensitivity test. All three of those can be done at home. And of course, there's a discount with that bundle over at Equilife. So I just wanted to share that with you because again, you can also go by symptoms as well. Next research study, both children and adults, is this. It's Highways harm children's brain development, okay? Now it goes for adults as well, but children are more susceptible because they're smaller and they're growing and their detox capacity, as you'll see, is not as great. All right, let's share where this study was out of. Done by Dr. Sandy Ha, Associate Professor, Department of Public Health, University of California, Merced, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, Merced, M-E-R-C-E-D, the leader of a study published in Environmental Research. Okay, here we go. Kids who live near major roadways at birth have lower verbal and nonverbal IQ scores and reduced visual motor abilities in mid-childhood, compared with children living farther from busy roads. Living closer to a major roadway is associated with babies having twice the risk for developmental delays in their ability to communicate by age 3. The study did not show cause and effect, but it indicated that exposure to air pollutants after birth is associated with more consequences than exposure before birth, when pollutants are filtered more effectively by the mother's body's defense system. This is amazing, and here's why. It's one study, but it's one of thousands. When I shared that study called The 10 Americans, not a lot of people had heard about it back in 2017. It's done by the Environmental Working Group, and it shows that before a child's even born, they have well over 200 toxins in their bloodstream. Then after they're born, again, they don't have their mother's liver filtering the mother's blood. They don't have the placenta, so they're getting that in directly. Now, their liver isn't quite as strong, so they're not able to filter this as well. That's why if you live near a highway, what I urge you to do inside of the house is to get yourself a good quality air filter. My top air filter choices are at stephencabral.com/resources. You can check them out. But again, like if you have to live near a highway and the amount of smog, air pollution from that, I do recommend getting a good quality air filter in the home. All right. And again, for adults as well, because you're still breathing it in. It's still harmful and it builds up over time, but not as because your body's more developed. Last study today. I know I usually bring you 2. Today's 3. Third one, because they're all about kids and adults, so I kind of lump them together. All right, kids' positive self-talk can boost math success. This is by Sander Thomas, PhD, professor of psychology at Utrecht University in the Netherlands. Study was published in Child Development. Okay, here it is. Child's positive self-talk can boost math success if the self-talk focuses on effort, not ability. Let me clarify that. Focus on your effort, not your ability. Okay. Children in grades 4 through 6, ages 9 to 13, who had negative beliefs about their math ability and who engaged in positive self-talk about their doing their best did better when tested than kids whose self-talk focused on ability or ones who did no self-talk at all. I love that because it's something that I share with both adults and children, that what you believe and what you feel you have control of allows you to take more action and better steps to success. So for a child in this example, maybe they don't have all the best ability in the world. Maybe they're not as good as math as some of their classmates. That's okay. Here's what they can control: being positive about it and also putting in the effort. So now they can be positive about the effort they're putting in, knowing that it will pay off when it comes time to test time. You don't need to be the very best in the world at math to excel in life, but you need to pass those tests in order to pass school. So help your children and yourself focus on the effort and not necessarily the ability. I think that could help all of us. That is today's Cabral concept. That's our Friday review. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I really appreciate that. I appreciate the reviews. I appreciate the shares. I appreciate the downloads, the subscribes, all of them. So thank you very much. Again, I am super, super grateful. And we'll be back tomorrow answering your questions on our weekend house calls. Take care, everyone.